Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is going to be the SmartNode channel partner training for our new fiber and ADSL IAD access devices. You're going to be hearing from myself. I'm Tyler DeLynn. I'm one of the product managers for the SmartNode line. You also hear from our executive product manager, Ramon Felder, and then also kind of our technical lead, Joshua Puckett. Just a little housekeeping as we go throughout this training. Do you have any questions, just go for the question interface. Insert your questions there, and at the end we'll have a quick Q&A. So just a reminder review, we did release our SmartNode 4660 and 4070 back in March of 2012. The 4660 is your gateway router, and then 4670 is going to be an IAD, which we will actually talk about as we've added fiber to that line. And just keep new product releases. These are our IPv6 upgradable hardware models, meaning they are hardware ready, and then when we have a new support release middle of next year with our new Trinity, they'll then be software ready and they'll be IPv6 ready at that point. But they're just IPv6 upgradable hardware at this point. The other key points about this new line is going to be that they do go up to 8 BRI now. Before it only went up to 4 with our 4630. And then now these units actually include BRI, FXS, and FXO on one box, anywhere up to 12 ports. Also, we launched back in May of 2012 this year our SmartNode PRIs, our next generation SmartNode PRIs, replacing the 4940, 50, and 60. These are now our SNODE 4970, 80, and 90. The key points here, again, this is IPv6 upgrade hardware. Also, all 4 port models for the PRI versions are going to be, if they have 4 ports, live relay is going to be included. We also have upgradable SKUs for each the 4970, 80, and 90, where you can do 30 upgradable to 120. There's a SKU option for each of those products. And then all the models are available with internal power supply if you need it. Oops. So we'll go ahead and pass this on to Ramon Felder to talk about our new models.
Okay, good. Thanks everybody for joining and spending some time here in this last rush up to the holidays. So we got 2 small Christmas presents for you. One is we have new PRI models with integrated ADSL WAN ports. So some will ask themselves, okay, why do we need PRI gateways with ADSL? First of all, ADSL is still the most available broadband access technology. We pulled together some statistics, and we can say that more than 80%, 90% of all DSL deployments are ADSL, and even last year there were still 50 million new ADSL ports installed, and that's still more than VDSL or any other DSL technology. So it is the most prevalent ADSL access technology. There are not so many PRI gateways available on the market with ADSL WAN ports. And on the next slide, we'll see maybe one of the key questions that you will have about that. So what about the upstream limitation? We know that ADSL is asymmetric, the downstream is very fast, but the upstream direction from the customer to the network is slow. So is it sufficient for PRI? Well, the majority of PRI deployments are, 1 PRI or less, a fractional PRI in many cases. You can have a PRI port and only use 10 or 15 or 20 channels. The average ADSL upstream is probably somewhere between 0.5 to 1 megabits per second, and that's for sure enough for 10 or 20 compressed voice over IP calls. Recently there have been new annexes, new versions of ADSL released, including Annex M, which provides upstream speeds up to more than 3 megabits per second. And in many cases, you also start to see Annex J on ADSL, which means that the baseband analog or ISDN line, is freed up for the ADSL spectrum, and also in that case you can get up to 3.5 megabits per second upstream on an ADSL line, and that is absolutely enough for a full PRI with 30 channels running uncompressed G711 voice. So the ADSL upstream is sufficient in many cases for a complete PRI, and in pretty much every case for a fractional compressed PRI. Okay, good. So we have created a few new models on the 4990 SKU with integrated ADSL, and you can see them on the right side there. We have models with 15 channels, with 30 channels, and if you want to do a inline configuration with fallback, you can choose the models which have 4 E1 ports. If you want to do just a first line straight IAD configuration without any fallback to the public network, then you can use the 1E configurations. Apart from that, the rest of the specs is the same as any other 4990 model. Okay, good. Now for the fiber. Fiber, as I'm sure you're aware of, is really the next generation access technology. It's being rolled out all over the world. Many city networks, many regional, national networks are rolling out fiber to the home, fiber to the building, fiber to the curb, etc. In most cases, the infrastructure is laid out to support up to 1 gigabits per second, and because it's fiber, the reach is not a problem. If you can get 100 meg on VDSL over maybe 100 meters, with fiber you can get it up to 100 kilometers if you like. One issue maybe with the fiber is that there are different types of fibers. You can get a single mode, which is the typical case in access networks, but there may be multi-mode fibers. You see fiber infrastructure with only a single fiber going to an office or a home, or you see infrastructures where there are 2 fibers going, one for each direction. There's different wavelengths being used, there's different distances, and in some cases there's different connector types. Because of all of these variations, we decided to implement an SFP slot on the SmartNode so that you can choose the right module to fit the infrastructure and the network that you have. And we'll hear a little more about that later. Okay. So here is just, again, a couple of statistics of new broadband access ports deployed in Q1 of 2011. It's hard to come by good statistics, but here you see the green part are fiber deployments, and you can see that in some countries, in some regions, they make up already for a big part of new broadband access deployments, and we can expect that this will be growing over the next years. Okay, good. So we have 2 product lines which include the SFP option. One is the 4990 IADs, and you can see on the right hand side the different configurations. So basically any combination that you can need with 1 E1 port or 4 E1 ports, and from 15 voice channels going up to 120 voice channels, including upgradable SKUs, as you can see at the very bottom. So the F in the SKU stands for fiber, and that's the SFP slot which is available to accommodate the SFP module. Okay, good. And with that, I think we'll, oh yeah, here, that's the 4670, sorry, so that's the smaller brother, if you like, as Tyler before mentioned, the box which supports up to 8 BRI and combinations of BRI, FXS and FXO ports. Again, here also we have a selection of port combinations which are available with the SFP slot. Good. With that, let's hear a little bit more about the SFP modules, and Joshua Puckett has here a selection and information about some of the SFP modules that we'll make available or that you can find on the market. Josh?
Thank you, Ramon. All right, so in choosing the SFP modules that we want to carry, it's not exactly a simple task because of just the sheer number of SFPs that are available. So what we've done is we've analyzed some of the greater use case, and our goal here is to allow you that for bulk orders, you can get everything from a single place, you can get them from us pre-installed, and you don't have to worry about creating two POs for your SFP vendor and for us. So we've been looking at all gigabit because when we're in the fiber world, that's probably what we're thinking about, what we're intending to do. We do support 100 megabit per second modules. That's not what we're expecting to be our main part. So what I have here is very standard wavelengths. We've got the 1310. Operating temperature on all of them is a typo. All four are 0 to 7 Celsius. My apologies. And then as far as the dual mode and the split mode, we're doing both. You can see here in the bottom, we have the two with the 1310 and the 550. So the two pictures you see at the bottom right, one being the dual, the one on the right, and then the single mode being the one on the left. So the bidirectional operation that BID stands for at the very left column. The distance we're looking at going is between 10 and 20 kilometers, and the reason this is because, once again, for the applications we're thinking of, we aren't necessarily anticipating the majority of our setups being this long reach. Please keep in mind we have a lot of functionality on what modules will work, and it's far beyond these 4 SKUs. The manufacturer we've selected is O-Ring because of their reliability and their constant how conform they are to us. They're a very excellent vendor, and then we know they're going to give us the top quality all the time. So we're doing all single, no multi-mode, and the reason we're doing that, once again, is just the applications we're looking at. As Ramon said earlier, we're looking at the access applications, and single is definitely the majority. We have done some with multi-mode SFPs, and they've had no problems whatsoever. Tyler, move the next slide for me. Right now, these are the mods that we've tested in our lab, where, like as you can see, some of them are multi-mode, some of them are single mode. We have 100 and we have 1,000. We also have two copper modules in there. We aren't officially supporting copper modules because the idea here is to focus on the fiber deployments, but we have had successful tests with the copper modules. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Once again, ranging from 100 and 1,000 base T for those copper modules. So right now the list is for small of what we've tested and what we've confirmed. We expect our channels and our customers to assist us as they start trying the SFP vendors they've used to really expand this, and we expect it to really grow exponentially over the next few months as we start to roll these out and deploy. If there's a specific module that you need tested or you want to do a POC, contact your local support team. The field application engineer on that team is going to be more than happy to ensure connectivity before roll out. So I think that's everything on my side, Ramon, about the SFPs we have and what is tested. The availability, I'll hand this back over to Tyler.
Actually, let's hand it to you, Ramon. We're getting reports that on the Gaithersburg side, our GoToMeeting connection is a bit choppy.
Yeah, it's right. There's some interruptions, but I think it was comprehensible. Okay. So I'll carry this out. So The ADSL models we talked about, the ADSL on PRI, they're available now. They are in the price list, and you can just put in the orders and they will ship with the regular lead times. As far as the fiber models go, you can order them now. They are in the price list, and we will start shipping late January. Okay. Good. Then we also, for this model, like on most launches that we do, we have a little promotion going up until the end of February, where for the given volume brackets that we list there, you get an extra discount. Just note the promotion code there on your PO, and you will benefit from that. So make use of that opportunity to stock up, to get some units, to present them, to get them into tests and into rollouts. Okay. Good. Questions?
All right, we have a couple. The engineering team told me that copper SFPs are not supported. Is that true?
Okay.
As you can see, I've already sent the answer over text to you guys because of our voice choppy. Marcus, we are not officially supporting copper SFPs, but we do have successful tests and confirmed patients of them working in our labs. So right now, all of our support and implementation is going to be geared towards the fiber SFPs.
Maybe one comment on that as well. The only SFP version which is really in detail specified in the standards is the gigabit interface. So that's fully standardized, and we have done tests, and you can expect that if you buy a gigabit Ethernet from any vendor, it's very, very likely that it's going to work just out of the box. The 100 megabit fiber and the copper SFP modules are not fully standardized, and there is therefore a little higher risk that there may be some adaptations required, and that's why you could say they're not officially supported. But we have tested all of these different modules, and they are all working. Okay.
So next question is, do you support SFP with EDM? Is it possible to do monitoring parameters and get this data via SNMP?
So let's see, what we provide there is an Ethernet port. So I'd be interested to get that question in writing, and we'll follow up with engineering to get some more details out to you. But basically it is a transparent Ethernet port for us.
All right, great. Well, looks like that's all the questions. So we thank everybody for coming out with us today, and you can expect to have another one in January. I think January 15th, we're going to talk about our SmartNode 10100 and our various smart media gateways. So thanks again for joining us. Happy holidays, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.